Hi, I'm Penelope Gwen, and today I'm going to give you a review on the brand new Real Techniques Bold Metals Collection Miracle Diamond Sponge and comparing it to their classic Real Techniques sponge. So today I was in Boots looking for makeup supplies. This one's getting a bit old and tatty because I use it every single day, so I wanted a replacement. But I couldn't find a replacement. What I could find is this. This is Real Techniques' new sponge, but it is twice the price of this sponge. So this is £12 and this is £6. So I'm going to be reviewing it probably quite harshly because £6 makes a lot of difference. So the reason why I use this one and not a beauty blender is because this one is great and it's way cheaper. What annoyed me was that they took this off of the shelves so that I was forced to buy this one, which was quite clever because I did need a new sponge and I didn't want to wait. So I did end up buying it. So let's have a go and see. I'm going to do half my face with this sponge, half my face with the new one, and see which one is better. So this is the sponge. The packaging's really pretty, just like all of the Bold Metals collection. This is what it looks like. It's obviously diamond shaped and has a marbly pattern on it, a really pointed edge. I'm going to read out what it says on the back here whilst showing you like an air hostess. The top is to buff and blend for a flawless finish. The smaller flat sides is to work around the eyes and mouth. Larger flat sides is a wedge to apply makeup to larger areas. Then the pointed tip is to cover small imperfections, spots and blemishes. I'm going to go and wet this sponge and see how it looks when it's inflated. So I've just wet the sponge and here it is. Bit of size difference. It's quite nice and squishy, especially on the end here. I'm going to compare it to this one. I am going to apply my foundation first with the original sponge. I'm using Kat Von D Lock-It foundation, squirting a bit onto my hand and then patting it onto my skin. So I kind of wipe it onto my skin and then pat it onto areas that need more coverage. So this is what I do every day. I love using the sponge. I've been using them for quite a while now and I don't really have much use for foundation brushes anymore. I don't go under the eye area because I save that for concealer. So that's this side done. Now I'm going to move on to this one. So what does it say? Top is to buff and blend for a flawless finish. Then the larger flat sides is a wedge to apply makeup to larger areas. So I suppose they want me to apply the makeup with the wedge. I'm going to try it. So I've applied it to the wedge. It's quite good for getting under the nose and stuff. Because I have a septum piercing, I have to kind of go around and under it. I also often find it hard to get into this area here, so already I'm finding this tip more useful than the other one. I feel like with this pattern and colour it's going to get gross quicker, because see that foundation? On this one you can hardly see it, on this one you really can. So now I'm going to buff with this one like it says. So not much difference there really, except for I can get into the crooks like up my eye and underneath my nose and under my piercing, which is quite helpful. But again, it's not really an issue. Okay, let's move on to concealer. I'm using Kat Von D's Lock-It concealer in L3. Foundation I used was in 45. I'm going to apply this under my eye. So with this sponge, I usually use this larger area to go all around my face, then use this one to get under the eyes with the concealer. and then blend it out further with this one. So now I'm trying to get into the corner of my eyes and succeeding. It's not that much of a problem because you can squish it and make it smaller. I'm going to add more layers of concealer, but I think I'm going to go back and forth between the sponges to see if there's any difference in coverage. So I'm going to do the same again, just a little swipe. I think I'm going to use another one of these flat sides. I quite like this, feels quite delicate. Also, a problem that many people have is product building up inside the eye crease. So if you keep one of these clear, you can kind of swipe it away and you can really see where the product is and where it's free of product when it's this colour. Then I can get right up in there and then use one of these larger ones. I'm going to go and do another layer now. I'm going to go back in with this sponge. Lightly tapping away. Now you don't have to do that massive triangle of product with concealer because you can just bring it down when you blend it. So I'm getting a bit of build up here, like I mentioned, that I could get rid of with that eye, but there isn't a new surface for me to get rid of it. I'm going to have a go now. And that's done okay, but it's slightly disturbed the concealer underneath it. I mean, it's completely workable, but for some that might be a big challenge and problem. I'm going to add a dollop more, so we're not here all day. I have quite dark circles, and usually I put a correcting concealer underneath, but I wanted to just see how these sponges worked without it. Most of you won't need this much product unless you have quite dark circles like me. That's all good now for that eye. Let's go with this one again. I do like the delicacy of this, but it does have such a harsh edge. And then going in with one of these sides. I don't know, I find it slightly trickier to use, but I guess I've been using the round one for years, so I'm just used to that. I'm not sure whether they've just overcomplicated things for people. I do feel like it might be a bit big. So I'm using it, but I've kind of got the urge to reach for this one and give it a nice pat because I really like this area. I think because it's angled, it fits to your face nicely, there's nothing in the way. So I hold this to my face, I can still see my mirror, I can still see myself, but this one kind of blocks my view quite a lot. I feel like I'm trying to blend and it's kind of taking off product. Again, let's wipe away the crease build-up. That is good. That is a good thing that it does. I like that. I feel like this is kind of too delicate and it's going to end up being ripped and savaged after a couple of weeks. Let's get rid of my blemishes. I'm going to use the same concealer. Looks a bit light now, but it'll kind of just blend in with it. So with this side, you'd go in with that pointy bit, a little, and then just pat over it around the edges. So that was easy enough. Let's try it with our diamond. I haven't really got any big blemishes at the moment, so I can't fully show you. Okay, let's try it, doing it with the little blemish. Well, that hasn't really done much. It's kind of just poked it. I need it to blend. So this is good if you want to apply it. So boom, tiny little spot, just applied a tiny amount of product, but actually blending it, no, not convinced. So I'm going to try it with a big thing. But again, I'm squishing it to make it rounder when I use it. So I don't know about these harsh edges. I don't feel like they're helping me very much. This side is probably the most useful side. The side that is a lot like this. I'm just going to show you my face on both sides to show you the results. I don't feel like there's much difference in the coverage. I don't really feel like the diamond has made my life easier. I feel like it's tackling certain issues, like getting into the crease. I like that you have different sides. So on one side I can apply my foundation, another side I can apply my concealer, and the other side I can apply my highlight with it. I think that's good. Also the colour, it will make it get tatty and horrible looking quicker, but it does show you where you've used product and also where it's dirty, where you need to clean properly. But my heart is forever with the original Real Techniques sponge, and I think they should bring it back to Boots so I don't have to spend £12 on something that isn't quite as good.